Okay.
Good evening and welcome to Motivational Monday with Luann B. I'm so excited to be here this evening with my dear friend Beverly Jackson. I want to remind you that these Motivational Monday calls are free and open to anyone to join us and get some love and support on Mondays. Because for me, historically, Mondays were a challenge. When I was all full of anxiety from having let go of things for the weekend and piled it all back on me on Monday, like it all had to be done in that moment. So I just felt like people could use some loving support on Monday evenings to set their week in the right state of mind. And from now and again, I bring on some friends to help me with that. And my dear friend Beverly Jackson is a professional organizer and has a heart for helping people simplify their life and downsize the stuff that we have in our world, a skill and talent that I fail to have. So I got to bring her in, but she's been in my house a couple of times to help me with that already, and made some major impact in simplifying and downsizing a lot of stuff out of my house that was no longer serving me. And that's really the key, isn't it, Beverly? It's looking at what are those things that are no longer serving us, that are just weighing us down, and it's time for them to go.
Right. That's it.
So how do we decide those things? How do we break through that?
That's a great question, Luann. The first thing is to understand that everything is energy. And so either it's an energy that when you walk by it, when you look at it, when you think about it, whatever, that it's either going to incite a positive form of energy, meaning it makes you feel happy, it makes you, feel good about yourself. It's something that you look at and it brings you some type of joy. The other type of energy is you walk by that particular item or you think about that particular item and it literally drains your energy from you. You feel either some sadness around it, some guilt around it, or it's just something that you look at and, you just think, oh, I wish that wasn't here. I wish I could get rid of it. And so that's how a lot of it starts, is kind of looking at each particular item from that point of view and asking yourself, if you remove everything else, that's applied to it, whether that be, oh, my mom gave it to me, or, this is something I've had since a teenager, or whatever it is, or this is the item I wanted to hang on to if I lost 30 pounds, right? And what are you laughing at?
Yeah. Well, I'm laughing at what's in my closet. I'm going, yep, I can see that outfit that's still in my closet that I went, yeah, I'll get back into that. And frankly, probably right now, it would never, ever even be a style that I would put on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I can see the item clear as a bell. Exactly what I'm imaging. But I also had a little aha moment when you were saying that I'll share, because others might relate to that, is that I have a tendency to hang on to historic things that were from other family members. And yes, there's a lot of them that are very near and dear and sweet, loving memories. I have a rocking chair that was my grandfather's that I just recently had reupholstered. And I remember sitting on my grandfather's knee in this rocking chair. And so it has beautiful, sweet memories to me. But as many of you know, who are my followers and listeners, my brother became handicapped from a stroke several years ago, and we had to empty his house because he now lives in assisted living, actually a foster home, so he doesn't have very many of his own personal belongings, and I took a lot of that stuff. And now I go, why do I have this stuff in my house? Why do I have these pieces in my house that he's never going to get to have them back? Part of it was my intent to save them for him, but I don't see a day that he'll ever have his own place again where he could take them back. And so now it's the weight of the injury of, it's carrying the energy of the tragedy, if you will, that happened to him, instead of joyfulness.
Absolutely. That's very profound for you to bring it up that way, because that is something that so many people, you said it yourself. You hang on to it thinking that it's something he will be able to use again. And honestly, maybe it's something he would never even want again, right? You don't necessarily know that. And I think we do that, especially a lot of times if we're parents. We do that with things that we think our children are going to want. And then we realize that I've asked my son, he's like, honestly, there's very little that I want because I'm creating my own memories. My wife and I are doing,
Yeah.
we have a different style than you have, et cetera, et cetera. So there's honestly very little that at one point I felt he would want. He's gone through what he wants, and the rest of it, you know what? It's my memories, it's my history, and if I don't need to hang on to it, then it's okay for me to release it because he doesn't want it either.
You know what I just remembered too, Beverly?
What?
I have something from your house in my house that I never should have taken.
What?
Remember when I stayed at your house and you had this beautiful, huge old medicine cabinet that probably
Yes.
looked like a medicine cabinet that probably came out of an old cabin many, many years ago, or might have even been in somebody's barn and used for something. But anyway, it's just a huge, heavy thing. And it's downstairs under my steps and never to be seen or used, and it needs to go. I just had an experience this weekend too, though. I had a friend come over and teach me how to sell on eBay.
Oh.
And so I am thinking about using that tool as a release mechanism to get rid of some things in my house. And we lost Darlene, darn it.
That's a very good tool. And that was the other part of what I was going to recommend is, it's hard for people to think of just getting rid of everything, right? Because the first thing that comes to mind is that you're throwing it. Well, that's not necessarily true. I've actually asked my sister and my nieces, since I have a boy and she has 4 girls, if there are things that I have that one of them would like. And I actually had one of my nieces, when she was here for a few days, just write down some things that she saw in my home that she would like to have. And it can either be something that when I pass, that I can leave it to her in my will, or if it's something that I decide I no longer leave, I can pass it on to her now. So that's one option, is to see what things you have that somebody else might want. Otherwise, donations, or like you said, if you feel it has a value that's worth taking the time and the energy to list it on eBay, great. That is another great way to get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my husband to return and talk to him, because we have a lot of antiques and things that were handed down. And he actually said, I told him I wanted to move, and he said, we can't move anywhere. We got too much stuff. I said, that is no excuse to not move and live where we want to live. That we have too much stuff. Then we better get rid of stuff,
Exactly.
And so that's where my head is going, and I know I will take ongoing support from Beverly, and this is just a reminder to our listeners as well that you need support from other people. You need coaches, you need professional organizers, and people like that to help you see through the blockages around what you might be holding on to, and painstakingly. I went through that with Beverly, and she sat in my office with great patience and making me throw things away because my office had become so cluttered, I wouldn't sit in it. And I won't tell you that I'm not in it right now either, but that's not why. It's perfectly clean. It's perfectly clean. I just like sitting by my fireplace, so I'm at the fireplace tonight. But the key things that we've already talked about to remember are that everything is energy, and it packs an emotion into that, right? And so it can be draining your energy, it can be making you sad, it can cause stress and anxiety. You really want to question if that item is bringing you joy or if it's draining you.
Right.
And that might be an easier way to separate it, because none of us want to be drained. We want to be living in joy. So if it's not bringing us that joy, then maybe it's time for it to move on. And again, move on in lots of different ways, right? You can throw it away.
Absolutely.
You can throw it away. You can give it away. you can donate it, you can gift
Sell
it,
it.
sell it. I did a bunch of re-gifting one year after my fire. All these things came back into my house after my fire that they had cleaned, and I'm like, and it was a tough year financially. So I just went, as I was unpacking all that stuff, I'm going, I wonder who would like this. And that was the way I gifted for Christmas, and lots of people loved it. Sometimes
Right.
the antiques in my house, I can gift them to family members because they were part of that history too.
Yes.
It might have been my grandmother's before, and I passed it on to one of my sisters or something like that.
Right. A couple of other things to add to all of this is, number one, whether if it brings you joy or if it incites a good memory, then the next level to go is, does it support who I am now? It may be a memory from 30 years ago and you love it, and it invokes a happy memory for you, but does it support who you are now? Do you still need it? Or is it something that you could simply grab your phone, take a picture of it, keep that picture, right? It's not taking up space, but then you still have that memory if you need it, but you can physically get rid of whatever it is. So that's one option. Because a lot of times people do struggle with actually getting rid of it because of the memory. And so it's a great way to do it. The other thing to keep in mind as well is that, I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend all my time cleaning and dusting. So if I can, decide which things really support me now, which things make my place feel open and airy and free, and all those little things that I look at and go, oh my gosh, that's so cute, I want to buy that. Really ask yourself, stop for a minute and ask yourself, do I really need that? Do I want to dust it? Is it something that serves me going forward in my life? Or is it just something that at this particular moment I think is really cute and on impulse would buy, but if I think about it for a minute, I can leave it and let it go to somebody else?
Well, I think that last tip, all good tips, but that last one is about avoiding adding more.
Right.
Right? That when you're out shopping, and I've started asking me that self-question because frankly, as I work around the energy of abundance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And talk about abundance and ask for abundance, I'm going, oh my gosh, I have a ton of abundance in my life already, right? There is really nothing that I need. There is nothing that I need. And so why am I buying this, right? And yeah, I really got to.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like for me, when I buy clothing, shoes, anything like that, everything I bring home, I need to take something out of my closet so that I'm not adding more, but that I'm replacing. If I buy a new winter coat or a new fall coat, that means one of the ones I have in my closet needs to go. If I buy a new pair of shoes, one of the ones in my closet needs to go. And by keeping that mentality, it keeps your, I refuse to add more space or more storage bins to accommodate the things I have, right?
Right.
It's that they need to fit in the space I've given them. And if they don't, then either I have to return what I just purchased, or I have to be willing to give something up that is in my closet that I haven't worn in a year or two or a season.
She's so good. She is so good. I say these things, I try and do these things, but I get challenged. So my agreement with my husband was if I brought a new pair of shoes home, I had to throw away 2 pairs of shoes because I had so many shoes. But Beverly will attest that when she came to help me clean out my closet, we threw away 2 big black garbage bags full of shoes.
Yes, we did.
Boy, but she had to hold each pair and really grill me on it before I would let go. But again, it's just a reminder. I think it's so important for people to understand that it's okay that you need support to do these things. It's okay.
Absolutely.
We're all okay. We all need support now and again, and it's different things. And maybe you're good at throwing stuff away, but somebody else isn't. And so we love and support each other, and we have coaches for different avenues of this, and Beverly can help people clear out their house. She is just such a gentle soul about it, so logical, but loving from her heart to help you through it. Because seriously, I had to take a break that day. Okay, the pressure's too much. We got to go out for lunch and come back and start over. But she graciously walked me through it, and we got it done. And no doubt she'll be doing it again. But this is a funny thing I've got to share too. I'm in a program called The Year of Miracles. Beverly, I've talked to you about this before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
each month we have a different focus. And I did this last year, and I'm doing it again this year. And I can't remember which month it is, but one month is on decluttering. Okay? Just for all the reasons that Beverly just shared with us, and releasing energy. And by the way, a reminder, we say in the passion test, get rid of the old to make room for the new. Get rid of the old history, weight, all of those things, opening up for new good things to come into you. So anyway, so they do this declutter thing last year. I think it was like March, because spring cleaning kind of focused, just like we're talking tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcy Shimoff says you need to throw away, give away, whatever, 27 things for 9 days in a row. Now, I first emotionally reinterpreted what she said and decided I needed to throw away 9 things for 27 days. Or something like that. I changed it so it sounded easier to me, and then I still failed to follow through on it. Okay? Now I'm sitting here going, because I'm in the program again this year, I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm just going to wait until that assignment comes again, and then I'm going to do it. But I'm already looking at things in my house. Like here's a good one, ladies. Go into the bathroom cabinets, right? And throw away all the old cosmetics and cleaning supplies and what have you that have gotten pushed to the back, and get rid of that stuff. So I'm already going, okay, bathroom is one day.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can come up with 27 things to throw away in my bathroom. Probably could easily even go through one cabinet in the kitchen, the one, with all the plastic containers.
Mm-hmm.
And easily throw away 27 things in that one cabinet in a day. I'm thinking I could probably do a refrigerator and freezer clean out and throw away 27 things in one day. But
Yes,
I'm
and
on
usually the spice and condiments.
and
will be
spice and
another one.
condiments.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those are things to think about, actions that you can take. First of all, being consciously aware of what's in your house, in your spaces, that it's all energy.
Mm-hmm.
And start to be observant of how that's making you feel and how you're reacting to that. And then consider what can I give away, maybe sell, that's no longer serving me, or throw away because it's just no good to anybody else, like all my shoes that were no good to anybody else. And if you can really step up to it, do the 27 things for 9 days. Again, you don't have to throw them away. I think there's a lot I could throw away, but you can gift them, So I'm thinking too, I could go through my closets again and get rid of a lot of clothing that would be valuable to other people. But it's just not my style anymore, and I saved it for one reason or another, emotional memories, or it was going to fit me better in another year or so. Anyway, cool stuff. Any other advice for our spring cleaning focus? Because spring is coming. Even though we just got, a foot of snow in my town, spring is coming.
Spring is coming. So it is a great time of year to do this. I think the last piece of advice is, we touched on it briefly when you were talking about your husband saying you can't move because there's too much stuff. And that's a great way to look at things, is to say, maybe you want to travel more. Maybe you're an empty nester, or you're getting to that point you want more freedom. Well, if you've saved every single thing since your child was born, right, in the hope that someday they will want it all, and then you decide, you know what, I don't need this much house anymore, I want to downsize, or I want to I want to get rid of everything and go live in an RV and travel the country or whatever. You can't do that
Tiny
if you've
house.
hung on to every single thing. And so it's a great way to, again, ask yourself, what do I need? Do I want to pack it, move it, unpack it, appreciate it again? Or is it time for me to let it go so that I can have a freer, more clutter-free life, which in essence gives you a lot more time to live instead of spending your time cleaning, packing, dusting, and finding spaces for things. It's very difficult to find enough space for everything eventually because you simply run out of room.
That's right. Which reminds me of another thing. If anyone like me has had um, the task in your life to clean out someone's home who has passed away or injured, like my brother, right? He was incapacitated, unable to make any decisions for himself for a couple of years. So we couldn't even ask him. When you have to do that for someone else's space, you also take great stock in what you've got. My brother used to tell his children, because he knew he collected antiques, and he knew his children had no desire. That was not their thing. He said, when I die, just burn the whole house down. All the stuff in it, just burn the whole thing down. Well, that's a funny little joke, but it's not funny when it's time for you to have to do that for someone and clean it out. So my mother at 87 now is trying to do little bits and pieces of cleaning out her house, knowing that one day we'll have to clean up the rest. And don't wait till you're 87. 87, right? We need to start now to sort through these things like Beverly's talking about, even talk to family members about whether there are things that they would want or not, and so you can make good decisions. So do it now. Consciously living, right? That's what we always talk about here. Consciously living makes life easier. Oh my gosh, I got to share another tip that I got this week. 2 more things I think we have time for.
Okay.
I was getting a massage, and my massage therapist, Erin, said, have you ever done body healing meditations? And I went, no, I've never done specific body healing meditations. And so she put one on. And this woman was talking about how we want to be at ease in life, right? We're looking for peace and ease. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We're looking for peace and ease. We say that, but then we don't do anything about it. And she said, the term dis-ease, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Disease.
Yeah.
It's disease. And I went, oh my gosh, I had this huge aha moment. We're putting all this stress and anxiety on ourselves, creating disease when we really want to be at ease. And the clutter around our homes are part of that dis-ease. It's not, they could literally cause the stress of disease, but you know what I mean? It's still just another piece of that puzzle. We want to live in peace and ease. We all will say that, I'm sure. And yet we fail to create the environment for that. And that's what we need to do. Yeah. Simplify.
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 Life easy.
Yeah. That's my friend Beverly's best advice. So she'll be coming back to my house again. Just a matter of time.
To it.
Hopefully after my 9 days of throwing away 27 things each day. We'll bring you back after that and see how I did. And then she'll still be able to help me get rid of more, I'm sure of it.
And I'm always here to help you if you get stuck and you just need a little help to get through one of those days or all of those days.
So Beverly does help people organize their home. Beverly, how can someone reach out to you if they'd like help?
Best way to reach out to me truly would be to give me a phone call, or you can always ask for my information through Luann, and Luann would forward it on to me. At this point,
perfect.
it just go by word of mouth. So that works great. And I can do it long distance. I have worked with someone just by having pictures and having her walk around with an iPad and talk with her. It's not quite the same as me being there, but if someone's willing to do that, depending on location, then that is an option.
Fantastic. So bottom line is, to get to Beverly, you got to come through me. I love that. You can private message me on Facebook, or you all know how to get a hold of me at luannb.com. It's luann@luannb.com. I don't think I've ever spelled that for you before. LUANN at luannb.com. So I'm happy to have you reach out. We do business by referral, don't we, Beverly?
Absolutely.
And so I'm happy to refer you on to Beverly or anyone else that you need to help you get through the blockages that you have. That's what Beverly and I are here all about. We love to support other people and help them achieve the dreams that they want. And blockages are always a part of that need to be broken up. No doubt about it. So I want to remind you all, Tanya Villar was on last week with me, the Southern Muse, talking about the 40-day challenge that's starting on March 1st. And there's still room for a few people to join us on that. Actually, he's doing the 40-day challenge. You can come on for free. If you just want to do the challenge with us, you get no coaching there. You get to hear what the challenge is, and you got to take your own responsibility to make sure you do it. So if you're a self-motivator, you can do that and just get on and join us for the free part of it. If you want a free soul reading from her, it's an hour session with her. And then we have 4 Zoom rooms like this where we're going to have conversations about how everyone's doing at living the challenge. You want access to those and ongoing coaching support, meditations from her. Then you got to do this little upgrade. So when you click on it, because I'm going to send it out with this video, you click on the 40-day challenge, you get the free one first. After you've registered for the free one, then you can upgrade to get the coaching and support that goes along with that. It's only $170. Tanya is amazing. $170 for 40 days of her work is a steal of a deal. And we're doing this at this rate for right now because I'm doing it with you, but I'm going to learn with her to then begin coaching with her and help to do this with groups in the future so that we have enough coaches to provide the private coaching part of it. Does that make sense? So I'll get to experience it with you, and then I'll become a coach of it in the future. And once we do that, the price will definitely be increasing. So grab it now for $170 and have the experience. Tanya was my coach for the last year. I've made amazing strides in my own peace of mind in working with her and my connection with my divine self. And that's what, if you have a desire, I think that's the biggest one right there. If you have a desire to get more connected with your internal divine self and live in a greater state of peace, then I encourage you to join us for this 40-day challenge. It's simple, profound, and fun. So I've nicknamed it SPF. SPF on. Put on your SPF to protect you and come join Tanya and I for the next 40 days of awesomeness during this this actually spiritual time of the year from March 1st for 40 days. So enough of that. If you're up to it, you'll be joining me, I know, and I look forward to it. Beverly, thank you again for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Any parting words for us before you go?
Not specifically, other than to just remember, for everything you bring into your home, find a way to release something so that you are in a constant flow of things that are current, valuable, and support who you are now.
Now, you just had to say something that brought up the current, right? Currency. Everything is energy. It flows on a currency, right? Electricity is a current. She's talking about the currency of the energy flow in your house. And we want that constant flow to be going, to be in the flow of life. Yes. Awesome way to end. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, everyone, and I'll see you next week on Motivational Monday. Come join us and have some fun conversation, and we'll answer any questions that you have and support whatever is blocking you up in your life in that particular day. Much love.
Take care.